What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Today we're going to do a Raw recap. Just a quick channel note that next week there will be no Raw recap or SmackDown review. I have some family coming in from Virginia and I haven't seen them in a couple of years, so I'm going to stop and spend some time with them. But I will be back in time for the draft and we'll continue back from there. So now, on to the recap. Started off with Ric Flair, The Big Show, Christian, and Shawn Michaels coming out to ring. The Heartbreak Kid welcomes everybody to the Thunderdome and introduces Drew McIntyre. McIntyre goes down memory lane with all the Hall of Famers, talks about his match at Clash of Champions. Michaels thanks McIntyre for being a part of the Clash of Champions match, but if by chance McIntyre is upset, it's all Ric Flair's fault. Then Randy Orton shows up on the Titantron and says, "It's not over till I say it's over. You don't know what hell is." I think we're probably foreshadowing something. Orton won't stop until he's a WWE champion, and that there's a price for crossing the Viper. He grabs his bag and supposedly leaves the arena. McIntyre then gives an open challenge for anybody. The only stipulation is has to be somebody that he has not faced before. Backstage at Gorilla, we have a very verbal altercation between Selena Vega and Asuka. Now, I do have to point this part out. Randy Orton has lost 3 times in a row on the pay-per-views. Why the fuck is she going to be getting another title shot? Seriously? I can see, okay, giving him 2 title shots, okay, fine. Back to the fucking line. 3 he's lost, and he's going to get a 4th? Are you fucking kidding me? We then get our first match, Zelina Vega versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. This is not a bad match, it was plenty of offense, but second verse, same as the first. Zelina Vega taps out to the Asuka lock. Alright, why did we have this match? Backstage, we see the Hall of Famers playing poker. Then we cut back to the ring where Andrade is telling Zelina Vega that she's nothing without him and that he held his tag team together and he wants a fight. So who's going to do it? That challenge is answered by Keith Lee. So that's our next match. 2 former NXT champions going at it. It was a good match. I liked it. Through most of the match, Andrade was getting the better of Lee, but this was quickly ended when Lee hit him with the Spirit Bomb and got the pin. Good match. I did like it. Backstage, R-Truth reads a letter that was written by Akira. It says that he was eaten by a shark. What? So how the fuck did he write a letter? Anyways, being that he's gone, he's now giving R-Truth his black belt. He is so enamored by this that from the dead, Akira Tozawa pops up, rolls him up, gets a 24/7 title, but Akira gets rolled up. And he's pinned by Drew Gulak, so he's the 24/7 champion. But wait, R-Truth pins Drew Gulak, so R-Truth is back at the 24/7 championship. The fuck? This is giving me a fucking headache. It's then said that later on we're going to have a triple threat match for the 24/7 title. R-Truth versus Akira Tozawa versus Drew Gulak. Fuck. We got a recap of last week's bullshit with Seth Rollins being Maury Povich. Backstage, Seth Rollins meets up with Murphy, who was playing around on his phone. Rollins talks about the King's Court with Jerry Lawler that the Mysterio family is going to be part of. Tells Mysterio to go get changed into his suit. He goes and leaves, but leaves his phone there. Rollins picks it up. Oh, interesting. And pockets it. So that's going to be coming up later. So then we got our next segment, the King's Court with Jerry Lawler, and his guests are going to be the Mysterio family. Ray talks about last week. Dominic vows that he's going to end all of this. The King brings up Aaliyah meeting up with Murphy backstage. Aaliyah calls Seth Rollins a fraud. Then up on the Titantron, Seth Rollins is there, and what he has to say is important. He says that Aaliyah isn't telling the truth about Murphy. He shows on the Titantron a bunch of text between Murphy and Aaliyah. Aaliyah says that Murphy is not like Seth. She walks out of the ring. She's followed by her mom and the rest of the Mysterios. Backstage, Murphy is pissed at Seth Rollins for what he did. Dominic comes out of nowhere, attacks Murphy. So that's going to be a match in a bit. But back to the ring, we have more talk with Lana and Natalya. Jesus fucking Christ. Apparently they want Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler stripped from the tag titles and given to them. What the fuck? Why? Adam Pearce comes out and says we just don't do that, but you can have a chance to earn a shot against this new tag team, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. So our next match is Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Lana. It's a useless match. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose win it. Okay. We didn't get a recap of the KO show last week where Aleister Black attacked Owens. Then in a dark room, once again, Aleister Black is talking about Kevin Owens, how he's known for betraying people, and blames him for losing his eye. Backstage in the Legends Lounge, the Hall of Famers are still playing poker, and they're joined by the Street Profits. And our next match is Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black, who's sporting a new look with some new music. He must be going death metal, or I don't know really how to call it. Not bad, though. This was a very, very physical match. Both Owens and Black are putting in a ton of offense to each other. Black got in the face of the ref, went back to Owens, started striking him, but ended up striking the ref in his reeling back. Got him with his elbow. The referee called for the disqualification. As Aleister Black is pleading his case, he ends up beating a stunner from Kevin Owens. Can we please have the blow-off match for this? I mean, it was a good match, but it's like the rest of everything else. It's getting fucking repetitive. Backstage, the Hurt Business is harassing Mustafa Ali, and Ali is going to be joining Apollo Crews and Ricochet in a 6-man tag match against the Hurt Business. Oh, Lord. We have the triple threat match of R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, and Drew Gulak for the 24/7 title. Bullshit match, wasted time. R-Truth won it. I mean, the whole R-Truth, regaining the belt like every other time. At the beginning, it was cool. It was funny. It's starting to lose its shine. It's that process of diminishing returns. The more ooh, this got us good ratings. Let's do it some more. Let's do it some more. And each time you do it, it just gets less interesting and less interesting. I might be in the minority for it, but I'm sorry. I'm losing interest in it. It was cool at first, but let's get over. Then you got Dominic versus Murphy. This is a very heated match. Dominic is straight out for blood. Both Dominic and Murphy put on a very good match. Dominic grabs a kendo stick, starts stalking Murphy. Aaliyah comes running out, telling him not to do it. This, however, distracts Dominic, and Murphy gets the surprise roll-up. The old tried-and-true way of pinning somebody in the WWE. Dominic starts beating the hell out of Murphy with the kendo stick. He runs off. Aaliyah gets in his way, tells him to stop. Dominic calls Aaliyah naive, and Aaliyah's just pretty much the gentlest slap I have ever seen to Dominic. She walks off. Okay, I will make a small point in a little bit about that, though. Backstage, Dolph Ziggler is talking to Adam Pearce about Drew McIntyre's match. Pearce tells Ziggler, you can't be in it because you've already faced him. But Ziggler says, nope, wait, I have an idea. Then we got the Hurt Business versus Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and Apollo Crews. After the Hurt Business run their mouths for a bit, the faces come running in and strike first. The lights start going all flickery goofy, and Retribution starts popping up on all the screens. The Hurt Business are sitting there getting ready to go, but nothing fucking happens. So we have our match. It's the usual multi-man chaos. Everybody gets their spots in. Ali tried to go for the pin, but Bobby Lashley pulls him out and attacks him. So much for waffling on that special rule for tag teams, Vince McMahon, because nothing was ever fucking said about that one. Ali got the 450 splash on MVP and gets the win. Okay. Can we please have the Hurt Business face somebody else other than some group involving Apollo Crews? That's been going on for way too long as well. I mean, I understand we have only 6 people in the WWE in Raw right now because of all the global crisis. Can we please fucking mix something up? We cut backstage and the Hall of Famers are still playing poker. We got another video package of Bianca Belair out racing a bunch of people. It's funny how Aaliyah, who's not even a wrestler, is getting into a story well before Bianca Belair. I know she had the story with Selena Vega, which went straight fucking nowhere. I mean, poof, done. We don't fucking... If Vince McMahon lets it go, we have to forget it. Okay, but Aaliyah is getting a storyline before Belair is. Really? Then we got a video package of Retribution, which is pretty much all we ever see of them tonight. Then we go on to our main event. Drew McIntyre comes out. He's waiting for his open challenge, somebody he's never faced before. Dolph Ziggler comes out and he reveals McIntyre's opponent, and he is glorious. Yes, Bobby Roode is back. I'm not sure if he's Bobby Roode now or Robert Roode. Anyways, Robert Roode, Bobby Roode, the glorious one, is back, and he's going to be facing Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Dolph Ziggler's going to be at ringside. Another match where we got 2 former NXT champions going at it. This was a good match. Drew McIntyre is putting in a ton of offense against the returning Roode. McIntyre is checking Roode all over the ring. Ziggler starts to get involved, but this distracts McIntyre enough for Roode to start taking over. Roode is working on McIntyre's knees. After a Glasgow kick, McIntyre starts to fire back up, ends up hitting Roode with the Claymore kick, getting the pin to retain his title. After McIntyre celebrates in the ring, we cut backstage to this cleaning guy who's wearing a hood and a mask. He grabs a chair, starts walking to the Legends Lounge, unmasks himself, and it is Randy Orton once again. He goes into the lounge, puts on some snow goggles, which Samoa Joe's calling night vision goggles. My fucking ass night vision goggles. Turns out the lights, you hear a whole bunch of banging around. The lights come back on, and all the Hall of Famers are laid out. Randy Orton leaves the lounge, goes back to his cart, and escapes as the referees and officials are running to the lounge, and we end tonight's Raw. For the Fallout show for Raw, it was okay. Not spectacular. I mean, definitely. I was in the minority last week, and I thought that one was good. This one was not. It was not as good as last week's, in my opinion. I don't know what we're doing with the women's division. We have... we still got Lana and Natalya circling the drain. We got a new tag team with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, but that match went nowhere. The Selena Vega Asuka match, that was good. We did see it last night, but it was good. The rest of the matches were the two people with the NXT champion matches, Keith Lee and Andrade, and Robert Roode and McIntyre. Those were good. I liked them. The Dominic and Murphy match were good. I liked those. Everything else was just, And so, because like I said, we keep seeing the same matches over and over and over and over. Seriously, I'm looking forward to this draft because that hopefully we'll get some fresh matches that we'll be seeing for over and over again for the next couple of months. But, yeah, it wasn't all that great. Hopefully SmackDown will be better. It usually is. And that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back on Friday for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.